Well, I'll tell you what, we've got former Raider Jerry Porter on the line right now. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Jerry, man, welcome to the show. It's good to get on to talk some football. What's up? How's everything been going, man?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, pretty good here. Figuring we could take some of this time to look back, talk a little football. I mean, what else is there to do, right? What have you been up to?
Well, to be honest, nothing. Real boring. I'm doing very little. Right now, I'm doing last minute. Arizona's about. I'm doing my last minute run around, grabbing supplies, and ready to hunker down with my family.
Well, nothing wrong with that. And we just have been going back doing a lot of sports interviews, talking to a lot of former players, and we just had George Atkinson on with us last week, good friend of ours. So I guess we're here in Kansas City, yet we're sticking with this Raiders theme here. So I don't know if we're going to get run out of town here or what, but we do have that little Super Bowl to keep us occupied for a while. Could you believe the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, by the way? How'd you feel about that?
I mean, I honestly, now that I'm not playing, I honestly don't care. But it was time for Kansas City to put something else in that trophy case. So they have won in 50 years, 53 years?
Yeah, something like that. Who's counting, though? Yeah, it was.
Right.
It was. So
that was one of those things where they use it as the biggest paperweight in the world.
Well, for now, it may be the only paperweight left. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with sports or with football or with anything going forward. So we may just hang on to that paperweight for now and forevermore. Yeah. You never know here.
You say what you want. You won the last championship, and can't nobody say anything else about it.
You know what? That's funny because we've always said that's all we wanted here, and now it's literally, possibly the last championship. So, Jerry, the thing about you is we go back so far with you because we cover Mizzou here. I was a big Mizzou fan growing up. You guys played Missouri in the Insight Bowl there in '98, and I always look back at that West Virginia team.
Justin Smith.
Well, Justin Smith, he tackled Mark.
Oh my God!
What about that? He tackled Mark Bulger and Amos Zaraway like a Statue of Liberty play. He just tackled both of them because he didn't know who had the ball.
The crazier thing of it all was he was a true freshman.
Yeah.
Who knew?
and that Missouri team
run around that field, and I'd never seen anything like that before. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then a couple years later, the dude's a first round top four pick at defensive tackle after running around the field like that as a freshman.
Yeah, top 10 pick by the Bengals, but that Missouri team was very solid, of course. But you guys had one thing in common: you both had lost to Ohio State that year, the number one team in the nation, and then some other close games like Missouri did as well. So you guys kind of mirrored each other. But that West Virginia team, Jerry, absolutely stacked. Yourself, Gary Stills, good friend of ours, Mark Bulger, Amos Zaraway, Anthony Becht. That talent right there, NFL talent, all on that '98 West Virginia team. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a shame that team that we should have done a lot more with. But I mean, it is what it is.
We'll talk about your versatility at West Virginia. I mean, you fill in as emergency quarterback against Rutgers and quarterback, wide receiver.
My wasted time there. I mean, I could have been a receiver somewhere or a quarterback somewhere or been at safety somewhere, but they just chose to not play me. They could have played me at both spots, as receiver and safety, the entire time and not miss the beat, but they chose to sit me and not do either a lot. Not very appreciative of the way things went there, but I mean, if I had to do over and the things were the way they are now, where you can just enter the transfer portal, I'd have been in that transfer portal as a freshman.
Wow.
Well, you had a lot of options. You were a blue chip recruit out of high school. What other options did you have, and where might you have considered at that time?
Nebraska. If I was smart, I'd have listened. I might have been Tom Brady's teammate because Michigan wanted me as a defensive end, but I didn't really want to play defensive end at that time. But all things being equal, probably would have been the place I should have been. Give me a whole bunch of those get a strip sacks and get my hands on the ball that way. I can always get around a fat tackle.
Absolutely. College career aside, you still wind up drafted by the Oakland Raiders. You go there as a receiver, of course. just kind of take us through that process, getting drafted. You get drafted in the second round, and what kind of you were hearing going into the draft, and you go to the Raiders, who are in the middle of winning a bunch of division titles.
Not yet. Actually, the in year 2000, we had just ended. I think they ended a drought of losing seasons and ending the 2000 season, 99 season 8-8 with that game against the Chiefs. Actually,
yep.
And just like we were in the beginning of something, the start of something there, and it started to work out, but it just is. Yeah, it was bittersweet because every year they tried to bring in an old guy to take my spot, and they kept putting me back.
Well, yeah, talk about that.
Off with Andre Rison. They started off with Andre Rison my rookie year, and like, okay, I get a chance to play. Nope, sit down. So then my next year they get Jerry Rice in there. I was like, okay, well, we can work some things out. And it seemed like anytime I was supposed to get the ball, they moved me out of the way and let him get the ball. And I'm like, okay, you're wasting my legs. I ain't gonna be this fast for that long. So.
No, I hear you. And
that's how
talk about
do.
like what you were able to learn from that situation. I know it was frustrating, but you have Tim Brown, you have Jerry Rice, and you have James Jett, who another West Virginia alum.
Yeah, I mean, they were all the guys were really good teammates. We all helped each other. It's just the way the ball was distributed. It was just like it was like I was a hyena and the lions had to eat first. So I just had to come behind and get the scraps, but I had a big appetite and I needed to eat a little more.
Well, you wind up in a Super Bowl in 2003. You guys get there against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's kind of memories of playing that. It was the only Super Bowl you ever played in. The Raiders really never recovered as an organization from that. What was kind of your memories of playing in that Super Bowl? You were just getting ready to kind of explode in 2004, but
my thought is, I mean, discipline aside, they always pick and choose when to levy the punishment. The guy who went AWOL, B-Rob, Barrett Robbins, they could have suspended him after the game because he was an all-pro. He first time as a Pro Bowler. He was doing this thing, and most of the years, and I didn't mean to emphasize years, that he had been doing this thing and sometimes going off his whatever. They picked and chose when to fine and do things, and this time he just decided to levy this big hand suspension punishment on the biggest game of our lives, and we took the brain of our offensive line out. And put, no offense to Adam True, because Adam True did more than a nominal job backing him up, but Adam True was not Barrett Robbins. And they chose to use that to suspend him at that game when they could have waited and did everything they did afterwards and let him play because we needed him. He was essential to what we did on offense, especially at the O-line, because we were planning to come out and run the ball at Warren Sapp and those undersized D linemen that were trying to pass rush all day. There's no way in hell they could have held up against the run and pass rush. And if we had Tyrone Wheatley and Charlie Garner coming downhill at them, if they chose to pass rush that down and we were running it, they would have been in trouble. But it is what it is. We had to change our game plan the night before the game, or couple not too long before the game, and scrap what we originally planned to do, and we see the result.
Well, not only that, but you get to Oakland, and your head coach there is John Gruden. Then he moves on. You guys get Bill Callahan. You end up playing John Gruden and his Buccaneers in that Super Bowl, and a lot of the Bucs players saying they knew your formations, they knew the plays, they had practiced them. John Gruden let him in on everything. Is that a big part of it?
I'm sorry, I'm just one of those guys that says, you know what play we're going to run. You just got to stop it. I mean, the way things played out, it didn't matter. Everybody else had film on us the entire year and hadn't stopped it. And John Gruden was outside our locker room for a year, so he didn't know the complexities, the nuances of what we did. He knew the general things that every other team knew we did. So that I'm not going to say that he knew X, Y, under Z. Everything with NFL films having a microphone on the field, you can hear our calls, you can see our formations, you see the plays we run. We ran pretty much the same offense the entire time, the whole year. Everybody saw it and had the same access to the same information, and they couldn't stop us. So it was more of a not execute thing more than our plays, we know their plays type thing.
So what was the overwhelming locker room kind of feel and reaction to Barrett Robbins not being there? You guys having to scrap everything last minute heading into the biggest game of your lives?
Honestly, I don't remember. I was too young and didn't care. I was like, you know what, just put me on the field, give me the ball, and I'll bring it on. And, I mean, of course, I was a young man's thinking. I wasn't truly in tune to the pulse of the locker room at the time. I was one of the younger guys, and all I knew was put me on the field, between the white lines, give everything you got, and when you can't give any more, give a little bit more.
In 2004, you finally kind of get that chance. Jerry Rice is still there, but you're pretty much starting ahead of him, and it's your career year for you. But the season doesn't go well. You finish 5-11, and Rich Gannon retires at the end of that. I know Kerry Collins played a lot of that season, but just take us through your best season in the NFL, 2004.
It was fun. I was hurt a lot of that year. No, you're saying 04, 03, I was hurt in 03 a lot of that year.
Right.
04, I finally got a chance to, it was my show, and I was getting the ball, and I still wasn't getting it enough. But, I mean, we had our team, we had a couple things we had to fix, and, I mean, we tried, but things didn't quite work out that way. But we just kept fighting.
Absolutely. And talk to us about some of the kind of coaches that you played for. You get there's John Gruden. We mentioned Bill Callahan, Norv Turner, Art Shell was there for a short time, and you end with Lane Kiffin. So just kind of go through those, your memories, and what you thought about playing under some of those coaches.
I love Norv Turner still to this day. Anywhere Norv goes, I'm pulling for Norv. Coach Kiffin, I mean, it was boy wonder. It was his first head coaching job. He was put in an odd position, having to tell men what to do, men that were older than him what to do, and we had to basically put all our eggs in that basket, thinking that and pray that he could do the job. And he didn't do that bad of a job, but he had the deck stacked against him. As we find out, he didn't want to draft the quarterback that we drafted, and we had to go to war with 3 quarterbacks every week. So sometimes you didn't even know who was starting. You come into the huddle and you hear Josh McCown's country accent, or the Texas-ish accent, and then next time you come into the huddle, you hear Dante Culpepper's Northern Florida accent. Like, whoa, hold it. All right, okay, that's him. And then next one time we come in the huddle, and we hear Jamarcus with his not quite as far south as Culpepper, but it's a distinct difference between Culpepper and Jamarcus in the huddle. So it was just kind of like one of those things. It was hard to build a rapport, but we did the best we could, and you saw the outcome.
What is your memories of battling our Chiefs here? The early 2000s Chiefs with that great offensive line and Priest Holmes and Willie Roaf on the offensive line, and you had the X Factor. I mean, what memories of that?
I just remember, I think Priest Holmes, you guys had running backs for it seemed like forever, because right after Priest
Larry
Holmes,
Johnson,
Larry Johnson came, and my God, I think Priest had 31 touchdowns one year, and Larry had 27. I'm like, what are they doing on offense that we can't? I did not. How you get 2 different backs score that many touchdowns for one team? And I mean, wow. All I can say is wow.
That offensive line was a big Willie Roaf and John Tate and Casey Wigman and all those guys. Brian Waters. That was a big reason.
Yeah, I remember Brian Waters. Those are some real boy dogs over there. They really got it done.
But you had to enjoy.
Back then, I wouldn't give them credit. Huh?
You had to enjoy playing against those defenses in the years like 2002, 2003. I mean, they were giving up everything to everybody, just burnt toast there on the corners, and you guys had to eat that.
I don't want to talk trash about those guys. Those guys are probably just doing what the scheme said to do. It was probably just an ineffective scheme. If you go back and start talking trash about what somebody did or what they didn't do, I mean, you open yourself up to stuff. So, I mean, I just say that most coaches, most guys out there that play well or play bad, it was because of the scheme. The scheme worked with what their abilities were, and the guys were able to do as much as they could, or as little, or the little that they did. When you talk about giving up a lot of points and yards and stuff. Says this it's a different me. I'm trying to be more PC. I'm not so much in your face anymore. I
Dang
know
it,
I'm grounded.
Man, we're trying to grab a headline out of this. No.
I mean, if you want a headline, 2006, they should have let me coach the team because that dude they used kind of wasted my career, but we're going to leave that alone.
Was that Art Shell that year? Yeah.
It absolutely was.
And I like Art. You know, he had some good years with the Raiders. He was here in Kansas City as an offensive line coach as well. So I like him. It just didn't. It was only 1 year. You know, it didn't work.
Yeah. I wish that 1 year never happened because we had a decent team, and the way they deployed things kind of just worked against everything that was being said. Because we had Irv Eatman as one of our coaches, Jackie Slater, and Art Shell. Now, with those names right there, you would think the O-line should be the strongest part of the team, but it was one of the weakest. So it's like we had 5 guys doing 3 different things because it's being told 3 different things from 3 different coaches. And that was pretty much the reason why we were able to get Jamarcus because of that.
Well, yeah, that tells you right there why it was only 1 year. And you've mentioned Jamarcus here a couple of times. Just talk about him. I feel like he's kind of gotten a bad rap, and his name's kind of been run through the dirt and lack of work ethic. So just tell us from your point of view what you saw in Jamarcus in his rookie year.
I saw a raw clay. He could throw it anywhere. He could really throw it anywhere, but he didn't work at his craft, and he didn't have the support of his team behind him. So him not working at it, and nobody, I ain't gonna say nobody because I left after 1 year with him, but I can't say that the coaches were pushing him or trying to steer him and guide him into a position to succeed. I think they were already trying to move off of him after his second year. And that, I mean, when you use a 1 overall on a quarterback, you kind of got to spend some more time. I ain't gonna say kind of. I'm being too soft about it. You got to help that guy groom that guy into being the player he's supposed to be. And if you just throw him out there and without his first season, he had no training camp, and second year he came in out of shape. I mean, you got to help him. I mean, he's got to help himself, but you'd also, as an organization, you got to help that man a lot more.
Absolutely.
Last thing, and then we'll let you get back to practicing social distancing like we all are. We got to ask you about Patrick Mahomes, our QB here in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, just what you've seen from him. I mean, obviously doing things a lot of people have never seen before, already won a Super Bowl and an NFL MVP in his first 2 years. And why would you want to come back and maybe get on this receiving core? I mean, you're only like 40. You still got some legs left, Jerry.
I'm 41.
Come on.
No, I don't. I don't have anything left. I can stretch the field wide. Like, if I come on the field, I'm just going to stand 1 yard off the sideline, and he can reach me from anywhere, so I'm not worried about that. That kid is one of the more talented kids I've ever seen play football. And the oddest thing of it all, I used to collect baseball cards in my youth, and I remember having his dad's what do you call it? Desert Storm. I think it was a Desert Storm card. It was a gold, 24 karat gold, like printed piece on the card of I think it was Patrick Mahomes is his dad, right? He's Patrick Mahomes Jr., right?
Yep, Pat Mahomes, yep.
Yeah, I had his card, and I think it was with the Minnesota Twins or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And
I remember thinking, this card, why is this guy worth anything? Like, I've never heard of him, but his card is worth like $45, and it's always because of the gold on it. So I remember trading that card for, I don't know, I think I got a Brett Favre Stadium Club out of it, and still felt like I got cheated because I got Brett Favre, but this card right here is supposedly worth $45, and I don't even know who this guy is. He's the father of one of the better quarterbacks we'll ever see in life. I should have just banked on Tops knowing more than anybody else knowing.
Oh man, that's great. Love hearing stories like that. Well, Jerry, I tell you what, thanks so much for hopping on with us, man, and doing this with us. And try to find something to do. Find a TV show to watch. Find some good stuff, something on Netflix, or learn a board game. One of the two. That's our options right now, right?
Yeah, I'm on my 13th time watching Breaking Bad, and it gets better and better each time. So I'm okay.
Yes, with that. We were just talking about that. Have you ever watched Dexter? You got to try that next.
My girlfriend watched Dexter, and I fell asleep through it like the first 4 seasons of it. But then like she started kicking me and elbowing me, making me stay awake. And I found out it's not a bad show, but it's too gory for me. I really like the Breaking Bad. I'm working on Breaking Bad Part 2, and
Well, nobody can top Gus Fring, so we just need to end it all right there.
Gustavo, absolutely. I loved it. I even watched El Camino. What is it? You Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Yeah.
I'm waiting on this spin off another show from it. They can do it. It's Netflix.
Hey, we'll just do a Mike Trout show. It doesn't matter. We love it all. Hey, Jerry, thanks so much, man.
They got rid of Mike.
Well,
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, my bad.
No, that was but he came back for Better Call Saul, so they were able to retroactively bring Mike back. So we could go back to that.
And Mike wasn't a spring chicken, so you could go ahead and go back even further.
Absolutely.
You could go back to his Philadelphia cop days.
Oh, man.
Back to when he was 4 years old.
I was going to bring that up. He was a Beverly Hills Cop, and it took me forever to realize that was him that killed the guy at the beginning of Eddie Murphy's friend at the beginning of Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, that's great.
Oh, man, you got me. I was talking about in the show. He was a cop from the East Coast of Philadelphia. Now I got to go watch Beverly Hills Cop now.
Yeah, he was one of the henchmen in Beverly Hills Cop that kills his friend at the beginning. Yeah, he's in it the whole way. It doesn't look like him at all. He's got hair and good stuff. Well, Jerry, thanks so much, man. We'll catch up again soon. Take her easy and stay positive out there, my friend.
Absolutely. You too.
Thanks a lot.